moving like back to being an ED, I think we often talk about on this show when you get like a promotion, people think of like, I'm a manager now, and people think it's like kicking your feet up and everybody does underneath this. Quite the opposite is true. I think most times we find when you're kind of, I don't want to say lower stream, but when you're like an associate or a staff person, you're really working for the customer, whoever you're serving. Absolutely. In your case, it would be the peer support.
Yeah.
When you're a manager and an executive director, you're working for everybody else that's, so it's much different. They think it's like a promotion and a kickback. Like, no, I don't work for just the customer anymore. I work for everybody else. And maybe talk a little bit about that. Was that quite a like change from managing, the program and the people to managing, I guess to working for the public to, I guess, working for everybody else that works at MHAO?
Yes. So, and especially in nonprofits where people wear multiple hats, a lot of the time you don't have a specific position for every department or function that you would like to have, because we do work so close to the bottom line. So transitioning from, just needing to be there for the people we were serving and working for the people we were serving to then thinking about, okay, there's sometimes legal ramifications for everything I say. Right. There's a funder who expects a certain level of compliance and reporting. And so the administrative duties, when I was, as a peer support, it's about the people, not the paperwork.
Right.
Oh, no, it's about the paperwork as well.
Well, there's a lot of paperwork, especially with governmental contracts.
I think that's something.
Yeah, and I think that's something we should talk about is that one thing I wish for-profits would take away from nonprofits is nonprofits are very good at implementing, like, there's a rule, we'll follow it. Because they basically, their funding revolves around it. Whereas like in business, you often say, you should do this. As an auditor, I audited for-profit business. You should do this. They'd be like, yeah, that's going to cost too much money. Or, yeah, we've always done it this way. Come on. But if you make that same suggestion to a nonprofit, you come back 6 months later, they're like, yeah, oh yeah. And so it always amazes me, I guess. So were you kind of got smacked at the amount of like, I guess, hurdles you had to jump through? Because there is a lot of compliance and learning, I think, that goes into that. And then what was your, I guess, your plan or to shore up like where you were kind of light on things if you were.
Yeah. So being a new executive director at the same time as being in the grad program helped. I mean, the classes I chose, the networking I did, the reaching out and asking for advice and support was very intentional and matched where the organization was and what was happening in the organization at the same time. From finding out, when you bring on contracts, they have to match your mission. Yeah. There's a thing called mission creep. Who knew? Right. And with a for-profit, you're like, yeah, we can bring in in the corporate world, great ideas, money makers. You can do that, and your stakeholders or shareholders are like, yes, excellent.
Yes.
And our work has to be within the boundaries of our mission. It may seem like duh, but really you have to be very cognizant of that. And then, support in just the role has been so important. So like peer support for the people we're serving, there's peer support for EDs.